My name is Indu Priya Sen. I am the student of Sri Bhagwan Das Adarsh Sanskrit Mahavidyalaya. I study in 5th semester. I want to speak about revolutionary movements, that is Swadeshi and non-cooperation movement. Now I want to say about Swadeshi movement. The formal proclamation of the Swadeshi movement was made on August 7, 1905, with the passing of the boycott resolution in a meeting at the Calcutta Town Hall, which brought about the unification of the hitherto dispersed leadership. On the day the partition was put into effect, that is October 16, 1905, a hartal was called in Calcutta and a day of mourning was declared. People fasted and no fire was lit in the cooking hearth. People paraded the streets singing Vande Mataram. The people of Bengal tied rakhis on each other's wrists as a symbol of solidarity. This peculiar form of mass protest of Swadeshi and boycott attained popularity among the new members of the Congress, who were more impatient than the moderate leaders to see a positive response to their efforts. The Swadeshi movement is an important marker in modern Indian history. This was a comprehensive movement that lasted 6 years. The Swadeshi movement assumed its radical and mass form after 1905 following the contested special partition of Bengal. In 1907, Swadeshi was officially incorporated with the conceptual and ideological framework of the Indian National Congress with the avowed objective of Swadeshi Swaraj. Although this was regarded as a cultural movement celebrating the rich harvest of history, the rich traditions like folk music, paintings, the culture of Bengal was highlighted, but very soon it got integrated with the political upheavals that followed after the partition of Bengal. Krishna Kumar Mitra, in his newspaper Sanjeevani, highlighted the prospects of national education and economic Swadeshi. Very soon, this movement started gaining momentum with the help of the entire Bengali middle class intelligentsia. After the partition of Bengal, the Swadeshi movement got a big boost because of the integration of the boycott movement with the Swadeshi movement. Tilak called this movement Bahishkar Yoga, and most of the Bengali intelligentsia that was initially not in favor of the boycott movement got integrated with the Swadeshi movement. This was primarily learning for the national movement. According to Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Lala Lajpat Rai, it was training in self-determination, self-help and self-reliance. Initially, the idea of Swadeshi figured in the writings of early nationalists such as Dadabhai Naoroji, M.G. Ranade, and Bipin Chandra Pal, who came in defense of the national economy against the colonial economy. In fact, the Swadeshi movement can be called as a nursery of the further course that the Indian national movement was to take. The programs and ideas that were practiced during the Swadeshi movement became the hallmark of the Gandhian movement as all. Now, I want to say about non-cooperation movement. The non-cooperation movement was launched on 5th September 1920 by the Indian National Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. In September 1920, in Congress session in Calcutta, the party introduced the non-cooperation program. The period of the non-cooperation movement is taken as September 1920 to February 1922. It signified a new chapter in the history of the Indian freedom struggle. The non-cooperation movement was launched in the wake of a series of events including the Jallianwala Bagh massacre and were called because of Chauri Chora incident of 1922. Mahatma Gandhi was the main force behind the non-cooperation movement. In March 1920, he issued a manifesto declaring a doctrine of the non-violent non-cooperation movement. Gandhi, through this manifesto, wanted people to adopt Swadeshi principles, adopt Swadeshi habits, including hand spinning and weaving, work for the eradication of untouchability from society. Gandhi traveled across the nation in 1921 explaining the tenets of the movement. It has some features. The movement was essentially a peaceful and non-violent protest against the British government in India. Indians were asked to relinquish their titles and resign from nominated seats in the local bodies as a mark of protest. People were asked to resign from the government jobs. People were asked to withdraw their children from government controlled or aided schools and colleges. People were asked to boycott foreign goods and use only Indian made goods. People were asked not to serve in the British Army. People are asked to boycott foreign goods and use only Indian made goods. It was also planned that if the above step did not bring results, people would refuse to pay their taxes. The Indian National Congress also demanded Swarajya or self government. Only completely non-violent means would be employed to get the demand fulfilled. The non-cooperation movement was a decisive step in the independence movement because for the first time the Indian National Congress was ready to forego constitutional means to achieve self-rule. Gandhiji had assured that Swaraj would be achieved in a year if this movement was continued to completion.